Good evening. Another episode here we're going to do on Full Throttle Talk, doing a little Richmond review. Man, we're flying through the season here. Got one more regular season race left for the trucks, and got two more left for the Cup Series. So we're going to see how that all shakes out. We'll get into the point standings and show who's near the cut line, points to the cut line, things like that, as we get ready to get into the chase. Some quick thoughts on Richmond. I thought it was good. I thought there was a lot of strategy involved. There wasn't so much drama or anything needed really out of the truck series, but the Cup series had some strategy played. Are you going to split it in 2 or 3 different stops within the last 100 laps? We'll get into Christopher Bell. Went that route with 2. Joey Logano went with 3. And it just kind of worked out in Logano's favor. But we'll get into that in a little more. First off, want to give a quick shout out to a new partner on the podcast, W Energy, partnering with them. If you're little cup and everything, if you're somebody who likes a little bit extra pep, but you don't like the typical taste of like other energy drinks. I'm not going to mention anybody's name, but you can pretty much know which ones are out there. This one's different. I never got into the energy drink phase because I couldn't stand the taste of them. I mean, I know there's flavors and all that now, but still. This one is Calio Cream. It's a mango dreamsicle, if you know what that is. But yeah, you just dump a little scoop. This is a 30-day container. You dump a scoop into the cup, mix it with some water. I'd do about 16 ounces. Shake it up. Take it with you. I sipped on this all day today. Or not today, yesterday. I sipped on it all day yesterday. And it was good. Gave me the energy. Made me feel a little better at work. So just something that if you're in the energy drinks and you're looking for something a little different, it's all natural, no sugar, great flavors. Give them a shot. If you'll up top, you see the channel scrolling, and I'm going to flip that around here in a second. And as soon as I find it, let me find it real quick. Oh, there it is. You got to click on the right tab. You'll see it scrolling across the top there. That's the name of the company. And then if you go on and use my code up there, you see SEC_Sean1010. You'll get 10% off your purchase also. So tons of different flavors out there, sour flavors, regular flavors. They got all kinds of characters. The Hulk, they've got all kinds of different bottles. So, again, if you're not a fan of the original energy drinks, then give it a look. What's up, Benjamin? Benjamin Joe. How are you doing this evening? For some reason, yeah, I do have a son. So anyway, that's kind of a new partner I've got here on the podcast. Give a little shout out there. And then other than that, let's jump back into it. And I'll put the channels from WTP Sports back up here at the top in a few minutes. Like for everybody when they come up to go like and subscribe to those channels as well. A lots of good content. In fact, we'll be back on at 7:45 tonight right here doing our predictions for the college football playoff. So if college football is your thing, definitely come back and join us. We'll be all over it. So let's go ahead and go jump into the truck series. I mentioned there wasn't a lot of drama here. Look, Caden Honeycutt took the lead on lap 3 and pretty much just ran away with everything. Led 225 out of 250 laps, won both stages. I've told y'all, watch Corey Heim. Corey Heim finished second. He was over a second behind him. So, and he led 22 to a 225 of 250, and no other driver led more than 22. So, there was a late caution that could have been a strategy play for some people. Didn't really affect anything. He immediately reclaimed the lead and just drove away. That was first and second place for Tricon Garage with Honeycutt and Heim. Some other notable performances out of this weekend: Christian Eckes finished third. Shane Van Gisbergen, who actually sat on the pole for this race in the trucks, had a penalty on pit road, but still battled back and finished fourth. Great showing by SVG. 16-year-old Tristan McGee made his debut in the truck series. Solid, finished 8th. Great run, 16 years old. In there with people like Corey Heim, who was the defending series champion. Caden Honeycutt's good. Lane Riggs is really good. Ty Majestic. And he held his own and came in with a top 10 in his first ever race. That's very, very commendable there. Maybe somebody you need to keep an eye on, Tristan McKee. Lane Riggs was the points leader going and still is, but was 15th, finished 15th. So Honeycutt, who was in second place, cut into that lead, and we'll look at that here in a second. Let's go look at the top 10. So your top 10, you mentioned Honeycutt, 225 led, Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, Shane Van Gisbergen. There's your 22 leader. Grant Enfinger led 22 laps. Jake Garcia, Chandler Smith, Tristan McGee, Gio Ruggiero, and Daniel Hemrick were your top 10. So that's all of your laps. There's 225 and 22, 23, 24, and 25 right there. So all the laps were led by these drivers. What is it? 4 drivers? Yeah, 4 drivers. So, again, just pure domination by Caden Honeycutt. And they're, that was their next to last race. They have 1 race left. So, with 1 race left, let's go ahead and jump over. Hello, Shorty the man. Welcome. Glad to see you popping in. At the truck series, we're going to look at their points real quick. 1 race to go. Should be this weekend at New Hampshire with the Cup Series again. I'll verify that, but I'm 99.9% positive of that. That they're going to be at New Hampshire with the Cups again. We'll go look real quick. Truck Series. Yep, New Hampshire this weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is off. And, of course, the Cup Series will be there Sunday. And we'll have a preview of New Hampshire coming up later on this week, Thursday or Friday. We'll do a preview there. So everybody in with a green bar beside them is locked into the chase. They take the top 10 here, as you can see the cut line right here, over here in 10th under Tyler Ankrum. Stuart Friesen, 20 points out. Jake Garcia, 21. Brendan Queen, 47. Heim is 48 with only racing half the season. So, and Andreas Perez is 49 points out. Technically, I only did the top 15, but anybody within, 74 points of the cut line has a shot, but they'd have to win the race, win both stages, and Ankrum would have to finish last. So realistically, I'm going to say probably 11 and 12, Friesen and Garcia are the only ones with a real legitimate shot to knock Ankrum out. If he has a bad race at New Hampshire and they wind up top 5-ish, could knock him out. So Daniel Hemrick seems pretty safe. Definitely Enfinger and Rhodes are pretty safe too. When you look at their 53 and 65 points ahead of the cut line. So they're pretty safe to move into the chase. And I know down here I said they have one race that says 17 of 25, but they have that's including the chase, which is 10 races. Or, well, it's 8 races, I guess, 7 for them. I wish the series would do things more even, but, they have a shorter season. The O'Reilly series has a shorter season than Cup. So it's just kind of one of those things that it's kind of the numbers are always off a little bit. So that's what we're looking at standings heading to New Hampshire. And then we'll jump in to the Cup Series, which, like I said, was a lot of strategy involved. Joey Logano pulled it out. Going into the weekend, I had the 3 Bs. I had Blaney. I had Barry winning the race. Barry, Bell, and Briscoe were my top 3. That didn't happen, obviously. So Joey Logano won the race. Chase Briscoe was the dominant car of the night, 171 laps. And I said earlier, I misspoke. I said he held off. I had said he held off Bell. Sorry, brain lost for a second. But he actually held off Briscoe for the win. So by less than 0.4 of a second, too. But Briscoe led 171 laps. We'll look at that in a minute when we look at the top 10. But Logano just stayed there in different strategies, like I mentioned. He led 95 laps. Second victory in 4 races is what Logano has won now. And if I'm pretty sure, I think it's Penske's gone 3 out of the last 4. So the Fords are coming on a little bit. Speaking of Team Penske, they had a good run here. When you consider also that, yes, it's a 3-car team, but technically it's a 4-car team. If you add in Josh Berry with the alliance from the Wood brothers. So Logano won, as was mentioned. Austin Cindric, who was near the cut line, finished 3rd. Great night for Austin Cindric. Ryan Blaney, who won stage 1 and had the fastest lap of the race, fell back to 13th. Car just kind of went away in the last run. But like we said all along, Toyotas have been dominating all year. Ford seems to be starting to figure some things out. Hendrick has, they've got guys in the chase, but it hasn't been the typical Hendrick with a bunch of wins and all this all year long. But they had a good showing at Richmond. All 4 cars in the top 10. Chase Elliott was 5th, Larson 6th, Byron 9th, Bowman 10th. Not really much else. We'll get into the top 10 here. Go look at the top 10. Logano, Briscoe, Cindric, Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Larson, Bell. There's Josh Berry. Got to shout out the hat again. That's 3 top 10s in a row for Josh Berry and the Wood brothers, who does not have a ride for next year. Some rumors coming out. I'll get into those at the end of the show about some different rumors I'm hearing, plus some news that broke yesterday regarding Hendrick Motorsports. So we'll get into all that at the end here. So stick around for that. But yeah, 3 top 10s for Josh Berry. That's really good momentum for them going to a track that he's really good at too in New Hampshire. So we'll see how that all plays out. finished second there last year. So good track for him. We'll see how it works, but you can pretty much guarantee I'm going to pencil Josh in for his fourth straight top 10 next week. Going over, we'll go look at our standings, see where we're at with 2 to go. So we've got New Hampshire this weekend, and then we have the wild unknown, which is Daytona Motor Speedway. Anything can happen in Daytona, and I'll tell you about that when we get over here. Same thing here. The guys in green are all locked into the chase. I would expect after this weekend, you're probably going to have at least through 10 locked in. Possibly 11, depends on what Hocevar does this weekend in New Hampshire. Byron, probably pretty safe. Suarez needs a decent run here. Bubba Wallace needs a run. Cindric, of course, and Shane Van Gisbergen. And now, I say that, it looks close when you look at +7, but 17th place is 50 points behind this. So he's 57 points ahead. Austin Cindric is probably pretty safe if he has call it a top 15 run, maybe get some stage points at New Hampshire. Bubba Wallace, same deal. He's 70 points up. So, if Ryan Preece wins the race, it could get real interesting. Or if Ryan Preece runs top 5, it could get real interesting for the guys there between Wallace, Cindric, and Van Gisbergen. I still think Suarez is safely in. We'll see how it plays out, but pretty much Brad Keselowski, these guys still have a shot because there's 2 races left. And like I said, 76 points is max, and that's winning both stages, winning the race, and getting the fastest lap. So even if he does that in this race in New Hampshire, say Keselowski does it and gets 76, and Van Gisbergen gets 1 for finishing last, he's still going to be behind him. But anything within 20 to 30 points, I'd say, going into Daytona is going to be where you want to be, the sweet spot, because Daytona, you just don't know. Daytona is such a wild card at the end of the regular season. You could have 30 cars wiped out in one corner. You could have the leader get taken out 10 to 12 people behind him. I mean, it's just Daytona is just Daytona. So your Preece's, Chastain's, Keselowski, and Jones are banking to have a great run this weekend and hope that the people up and above the cut line struggle a little bit so they can close that gap and get ready to head to the great unknown that is Daytona. But that's really about all that is going on in the world of NASCAR right now. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is off this weekend again. Of course, so we've got another doubleheader with the trucks and the Cup Series. It's getting interesting. That's for sure. And I think the cut line, I didn't put it up here because I wasn't getting into it, but I think the cut line on the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is even closer, or there's a couple more people. So we'll look at that next week for sure as we're getting ready to prep for Daytona, since the trucks won't go to Daytona, but the Cup and O'Reilly Series will. Some breaking news this week, though. It was announced a few months ago, that Alex Bowman has decided that after 2027, he is going to retire from racing. Don't like to see it. Alex still had a lot of years left, but Alex missed a few races this year with vertigo. And I think that took a little bit out of it. And, health is always the number one for these guys. So he's decided that he's going to go in 2027. I believe that's when his contract would have been up anyway. and then he's going to just hang it up and hang up the helmet, and who knows what he's going to do, but he's going to not be a driver anymore, at least full time. He may make a spot start here and there. But it was announced that Connor Zilich is going to leave Trackhouse and go be the driver of the 48 car, which opens a ride at Trackhouse in 2028. I don't know who's going to fill that. Would have no guess right now. There's a lot of names out there, but you've got a long way, and Trackhouse is going to do their due diligence to select the right driver for that car. So something to definitely watch. Could get an announcement next year, and don't think that just because that's been said, something's not going to get done behind the scenes. There's been recent years. Tyler Reddick was supposed to race out through, I think it was 22 or 23, before he moved over to 2311 and then wound up going that off season. So there's nothing really set in stone. You could see Zilich in the 48 next year. Not saying it's going to happen, but you could. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. The other little, we won't call it, breaking news, but it's a rumor that's flying around that I've really got my antenna up for, is there seems to be some issue with a contract dispute between Austin Hill and Richard Childress Racing. Now, Austin Hill took over. He was really good in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and he was making a few spot starts in the Cup Series, but with the untimely, tragic passing of Kyle Busch, they rebranded the 8 car to the 33, and he's been driving it full time since then. And will be the nicest way to put it, it hasn't gone real well. His average finish has been 28th, and his average starting position has been like 25th. It hasn't gone well. Now, there's a lot involved with that. It's a whole different car. It's a different length of race. The drivers in the Cup Series are that much better. So there's a lot more into it. I'm not saying Austin Hill isn't a good driver, because he is. But with that coming out, I still think he's the front runner, by the way, to land that ride next year. But with Josh Berry not having a ride for next year, as he won't be back with the Wood brothers, Jesse Love is going to take over the 21 car, which I truly love that. Jesse Love is a phenomenal talent, and I think he's going to do well there for the 21 team. And he's got some great people, like I said, with the alliance with Penske that he can lean on. Logano's a champion. Blaney's a champion. Cindric's a veteran. He's got some people he can lean on for how to get through these longer races, how to handle the length of a Cup Series season, which is 36 weekends with normally 1, sometimes 2 off weeks. So, I mean, they go through a stretch of 18 straight races with no time off. So he'll have some good people there to lean on for some advice and help. But it's been mentioned that Josh Berry, if they can't figure it out with Austin Hill, that Josh Berry could jump into that car next year. I love it for Josh Berry. I hate it for myself because Richard Childress is a Chevrolet, and I've been more of a Ford guy. I was a little Chevrolet at the beginning of my NASCAR stuff with Earnhardt and Harvick, but when Harvick went Ford, and then I've always had a soft spot for the Fords due to the 28 car back in the day. Jeff Burton back in the day with his Xi batteries, Black Lightning Bolt car. There's been some really good ones. So I've been more of a Ford guy than a Chevy guy, but there have been a few Chevy drivers, and I would still pull for Josh Berry. Just if it came down to him or Jesse Love, I'd have to go with the Ford. So just kind of how it plays out with me. But I hope it happens, but I'm not banking on it. It's just something that's flying out there right now. We'll see how it plays out. I'll definitely keep y'all informed as I hear. You'll know. So other than that, really not a lot going on. I think you're going to see stuff starting to come out for the schedule being released for next year slowly but surely. I know the fan rewards on NASCAR is fixing to start cranking out 2027 tickets that if you do fan rewards, you can get free tickets to a race by earning 5,000 or 6,000 points. It varies sometimes. 5,000 to 6,000 points gets you 2 free tickets to a race. And it's not hard to get to that point level. I haven't been as focused in this year as I have last year on it because I've been doing a lot of back and forth with grandkids and stuff. So I missed a few, but I'm still I've probably participated in 3/4 of the stuff going on, and I'm still well over 7,000 points. So it's very easy to get the points, to get the free stuff. And if you can't go to a race, you could trade it in for merchandise of a driver you like. Hats, koozies, shirts, die-cast cars. There's all kinds of things on there. So something I would suggest everybody look into. But if you're new, at the end of the season, I'll redo my NASCAR for beginners, and we're going to go through that a little bit more in depth next year. But other than that, I hope everybody has a great Tuesday night, and let's get ready to hit the racetrack this weekend and see what happens. And if you're, as I mentioned, if you're a fan of college football, definitely tune in tonight. There's all the channels scrolling back at the top of us. Go like and subscribe to them all. I'll be hosting again tonight on our channel there with the rest of the WTP sports crew. And we'll be doing our college football stuff. So everybody have a good night, and we will see y'all later in the week.